Okay then, my friends, there's one more thing I want to do with this application, and that is to allow users to delete the books that they've created. And I want them to be able to do that from the book details page by clicking on a button or something. Now, before we make that button, we again need to come to the book's context to flesh out the function for deleting the book. So let's do that. So I think that function's down here somewhere. Let's have a look. Yep, there it is. And as an argument, we're taking the ID of the book we want to delete. So what do we need to do in here? Well, we just say await, and then we're going to use the databases instance again, and then we use a method on this called delete document. All right. So all we have to do is pass in 3 arguments. The first 2, like the other ones, are the database ID and collection ID to say where we want to delete a record from. And then the third one is just the ID of the book that we want to delete. Okay, so now we can use that function from the details page to delete it. So let's open that file up and come right down to the bottom of the template. And below the card component, we're going to use the themed button component, which we already imported into this file before. I'm also going to pass a style prop to this component so that we can apply a value of styles.delete to this, which we're going to add to the style sheet in a moment. But inside this button, we also need a text component, not a theme text one, just a regular text one. So make sure that gets imported from React Native as well. And the reason I want this to be a regular text component is because we don't want the text color to change when a user switches between light and dark modes, right? Instead, I'm going to add a style prop to this and apply a couple of inline styles. The first one is going to be for the text color, which I'm going to give a value of #FFF, which is just white. And then a second one, text align, which I'm going to set to be center so that the text sits in the middle of the button. And also we need to add some text to this text component, which is just going to be like delete book or something. Okay. All right. So now let me come down to the styles, and we just need to add a delete rule where we can apply different styles to the button. So this should have a margin top of 40 to give it some room below the card component. And I'm going to give this a background color property, and the color is going to come from the colors object. So make sure that that colors object is imported, and the color should be colors.warning, and that's like a pinky red color. After that, I'm going to add a width property, and I'll set the width to be 200 for the button. And then finally, I'm going to say align self, and I want to set this to be center so that the button sits in the middle of the page horizontally. All right. So now that is the button created. Next, we need to hook it up to the functionality. So then let's add an onPress prop to this, and we'll reference a function called handle delete. And then we need to make that function up here somewhere. So let's do that. We'll say const handle delete is equal to an async function, and inside that function, what do we want to do? Well, we want to delete a book, right? So first of all, we need to grab that delete book function from this use books hook. Remember, it comes from here, delete book, right? And then inside this handle delete function, we need to say await, and then invoke that delete book function and pass in the ID of the book we want to delete. And we have that because it's this ID right here, right? So that's all there is to it. After we've done that, we can set the state of the book by saying set book, and we want that to be null because we've just deleted it. And then finally, we're going to use the router, which I think we actually need to import, don't we? So let me, underneath this, say const router is equal to use router, and this comes from the Expo router package. Make sure it gets imported. So then we can say router.replace to replace the screen, and that's going to be with the books screen instead. So we're basically directing them back to the book list, right? So let's try this out. I'm going to now try deleting the book, and we get redirected. So after we delete the book, we get redirected back to the books page where we list all the books again, right? But we're not refetching that books data. It was already fetched before, and now all of this book state is kind of stale because it includes a book that we just deleted from the database. So how can we keep this book state fresh to reflect that deleted book, which should no longer be on this page? Well, remember, we've got a real-time subscription set up in the books context, which notifies us when something changes to documents in the books collection, and that includes when a book's been deleted. So let's update the callback function inside the real-time subscription that fires whenever we get notified of an event to listen for delete events as well as create events that we already do. So to do that, I'm actually just going to copy this if check right here, which looks for create events, and I'm going to paste it down below. And then I'm going to change the create part right here to be delete instead, so that we're checking for a delete event, right? So now we're listening for create events and delete events, and we're reacting kind of independently when we hear those things. So inside this code block, we still want to set the books using a function like this, where we get access to the previous book state, but we need to change the return value so that we're filtering a book out, removing it, rather than adding a new one. And we can achieve that by using the filter method on the previous books. So let's say prevbooks.filter and invoke this method. Now, as an argument to this, we pass a function which fires for each and every item in the array that we're using it on, the book state in our case. And we get access to the item, the book itself, each time the function fires for each item in the array. Now, for each one, each book, we should return either true or false. If we return true, then the book stays in the filtered array. If we return false, it gets filtered out, removed. So we only want to return true when the ID of the payload, the book that got deleted, doesn't match the ID of the individual book that we're checking for each iteration. So we'll return here book.$ID is not equal to payload.$ID. And now this is going to be true for all of the books except one, where the IDs do match. And in that case, where they do match, and this whole thing returns false right here, we filter the book out. And that's pretty much it. Now, when we delete a book, we should get notified of that event from Appwrite, and we update the state accordingly to remove it. So let me just quickly try this out. I'm going to go to this book, Name of the Wind, and I'm going to delete it. And now when we go back to the books page, the book is gone because we're updating the state in response to that real-time event. Awesome. So then, my friends, there you have it, a fully functional React Native application built from scratch, complete with authentication, a database, real-time data, light and dark theme, and a bunch of other features too. So hopefully now you feel confident enough to make your own native apps, even better than this one, which can't be that hard to be honest. But also stay tuned for additional React Native courses and tutorials soon, because I do plan on adding more. I'm also going to add a couple of bonus videos to the end of this series too, pretty soon, which is going to cover multi-factor authentication, where a user has to enter a code emailed to them when they log in, just as an extra layer of security. So then, my friends, I really hope you enjoyed this series and you learned something along the way. If you did, please don't forget to share, subscribe and like. That really means a lot. And if you want to access all of my YouTube courses without adverts, also get access to premium courses and early access courses as well, you can do at NetNinja.dev. You can sign up for NetNinja Pro, which is just $9 a month, and also half price for the first month with this promo code right here. And for that, like I said, you get access to every course without adverts, without YouTube adverts. You also get access to exclusive courses not found anywhere else. You get access to my premium courses on Udemy, and also early access to all of my YouTube courses as well. So the link to this page to sign up is going to be down below. Again, I really hope you enjoyed this series, and I'm going to see you in the very next one.